Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for joining us again today for another CABTV show. Have you recited some Quran today? If not, do not despair. We have a lovely recitation of the Holy Quran for you. And then we will be meeting brother and sister Ali and Sakina and their mum, Sister Fatima Musa, to take us all the way back to the time of Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam for our prophet story.
Ramadhan ya Ramadhan, Ramadhan ya Ramadhan, Ramadhan ya Ramadhan, Ramadhan ya Ramadhan.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. والتين والزيتون وطور سينين وهذا البلد الأمين لقد خلقنا الإنسان في أحسن تقويم ثم رددناه أسفل سافلين إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات فلهم أجر غير ممنون فما يكذبك بعد بالدين أليس الله بأحكم الحاكمين صدق الله العلي العظيم. Translation of Surah Teen, Surah number 95. In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most kind. By the fig and the olive, and the Mount Sinai, and this city of security, Mecca. We have certainly created man in the best form. Then we reversed him to the lowest of the low. Except those who believe and do good, they will have a never-ending reward. Now, what makes you deny the final judgment? Is Allah not the most just of all judges? Holy true are the words of Allah.
شهر الخير والغفران رمضان رمضان شهر الخير والغفران رمضان رمضان شهر الخير والغفران شهر الله جانا جانا والبركات غطانا شهر الله جانا جانا والبركات غطانا رمضان رمضان شهر الخير والغفران يا رمضان يا
Assalamu alaikum, children.
Walaikum assalam.
Today we are going to listen to a story about Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam. A long time ago, there was a caravan which was going through the desert. It was a very hot day, and the people noticed something very strange. There were birds flying in the desert. So one of the person from the caravan said, "We've been going through this desert for so many years, but we've never noticed any birds." Another man said, "Well, if there are birds, that means that there is water." So the caravan decided to have a closer look. As the caravan drew closer, they saw something very surprising. There was a pool of fresh water. So the people of the caravan drank from the water, and the animals drank the water too. A little girl who was drinking water noticed there was a lady with a baby sitting on the opposite side of the water. So the chief of the caravan went to inquire. And he found out that the lady's name was Hajar and her son's name was Ismail. Hajar told the chief that she was the wife of Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam, who is a Nabi of Allah. And the chief said, "I've heard about him. He's a great man." Hajar continued with her story. She said, Prophet Ibrahim alayhi had left her and her son there for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make him happy. And he had told them Allah would look after them. But not long after the Prophet had gone, baby Ismail was very thirsty and started to cry. So Hajar went from one mountain to the other 7 times back and forth to look for water. And then suddenly she noticed that Ismail had stopped crying, so she came to have a look. And when she got closer, she saw that there was fresh water coming out of the ground near the baby, and it was going everywhere. So she said, "Zam, Zam, stop, stop," and the water stopped flowing. The chief, after listening to her story, asked, "Would it be okay if we could set up our camps and live near the water too?" Hajar replied, "If you would like to live here, you will need to get permission from my husband, the Prophet." A man asked, "When will he come back?" And she said, "He is not here now, but he will be back soon." 3 days later, Prophet Ibrahim came back, and the chief of the caravan asked his permission to stay near the water. The Prophet of Allah welcomed the people of the caravan, and they began to live there near the water. After a few years, when Prophet Ismail was a young man, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told Prophet Ibrahim to make the house of Allah, which will be known as the Kaaba. And him and Ismail started to make the house of Allah brick by brick, near where the water had first started. Soon they built such a tall wall that they could not create the roof of it. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent a special stone which worked like an elevator, and the Prophet could stand on top of the stone and make the roof of the Kaaba. Once the Kaaba was complete, the Prophet and Ismail cleaned the Kaaba. Then, on the orders of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Prophet called the people to come and pray there. And he said, "O people, come and pray in the house of Allah." Up until today, people from far and wide go and visit the Kaaba and pray there. Even the stone that was sent to the Prophet by Allah is there in a glass case by the Kaaba. And if you look really closely, you can see the Prophet footprint on top of the stone. I hope you guys like the story. Now, I am going to check how much you remember from the story. So Ali, are you going to answer a few questions? Sakina, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Ali, what is the name of Prophet Ibrahim's son?
Prophet Ismail.
Good job, excellent. Sakina, what is the name of Prophet Ibrahim's wife?
Bibi Hajar.
Good job. Ali, what does Zamzam mean?
Stop.
Good. Sakina, I haven't said this in the story, but do you know the names of those 2 mountains which Bibi Hajar went from one to the other?
Safa and Marwa.
Excellent. Now, we are going to do a lovely activity. For the activity today, we are going to be making a Kaaba gift box. And what you're going to need is 2 pieces of paper. I am using black, but you can use white paper and cut it. This one is 21 by 21 centimeters and this is 20 by 20 centimeters. You need a pencil, a ruler, some scissors, a glue stick and some ribbon. I am using ribbon, but if you don't have any, you can either color it or use some other way to draw the golden line of the Kaaba. So to make the gift box, we are first going to make the 2 boxes. Take the paper and start folding it in half. Remember to press on these lines, as these are the lines that are going to help you to fold at the end. Once you've created these 4 lines, Turn this paper to the middle. Remember to press nice and hard, and do the same with all the other 3 sides. Remember to press. Once you've got all your triangles, you need to fold this paper this way and then this way, making sure that this on the side is the same. So I'm going to leave a mark for myself. This is where I need to fold it. Remember to press on the lines. And then same with this one. Remember to press on the lines. Then turn your paper and repeat the same step. I put a mark for myself. Other mark. Once you have this, take the corner and fold it in like this. Make sure to leave a mark and do the same on all 4 edges. Once you have all your marks ready, open these 2 sides, turn it this way and this way. Because you have the lines there, it is going to automatically stand. You take these 2 parts, push them in, make sure to fold it this way and tuck this part in. So you have got one side of your box. Turn the other way and repeat the same step. Because you have the lines, it is going to start falling in its place by itself. Tuck it in. So this is the first part of our box, the outer part. We are going to repeat the same step with another paper 20 cm by 20 cm, which is going to be slightly smaller. After completing the second box, now you're going to have 2 boxes. Once both of your boxes are ready, use whatever material you have to decorate your Kaaba. You can also use some sticky tape. Once this is done, take the smaller box and place it inside your bigger box, and your Kaaba gift box is ready. If you want, you can place a small gift inside and place it back in. I hope you enjoyed the activity.
Ramadhan ya Ramadhan, Ramadhan ya Ramadhan, Ramadhan ya Ramadhan, Ramadhan ya Ramadhan.
I'm super excited to see which of the beautiful names of Allah Sister Rehana will be sharing with us today. Let's go and join her for today's edition of the Asma'ul Husna.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to our next session of Asma'ul Husna. I really hope you guys are learning these names, as each one is just so beautiful, and we are learning more about the descriptions of our beautiful Lord, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So today's name, that I'm sure you can see on the screen, is Al-Hakim. Yes, the name Al-Hakim means the wise, and not just a little wise, but all wise, the one who is all wise in everything, in his wisdom. So a question, what is the difference between having information, having knowledge, and having wisdom. Why is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala referred to as the wise? So information anyone can get. Google has the answers to everything. Any of us can get those answers. The next step, knowledge, is about having that information and actually understanding it, understanding the information that we have gathered. But wisdom is knowing how to apply the knowledge that you've understood and then put it into your own life so you can be truly wise in the decisions that you take in your life. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the all-wise. He possesses all wisdom. And when we understand that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the all-wise, we then allow ourselves to follow His orders without even questioning why. It is called total submission because we know Allah knows what's best for us. So let me tell you guys a story. I'm sure you all love stories. And in my story, it's about a piece of clay, a clump of clay. And in this story, the clump of clay can talk. There was a clump of clay that was sitting in a shop, in a pottery shop, quietly on the shelf, minding its own business in its comfort zone. One day, the potter decided to pick up this lump of clay and started beating it. The clump of clay started shouting, "You're hurting me, what are you doing?" But the potter still continued to beat this clump of clay. He then decided to put the clump of clay under water and washed it in really cold water to try and mold it. The clay started shouting, "This water is freezing, take me out." But the potter still continued. He then took this clay and put it on a pottery machine. I'm sure you've all seen these pottery wheels. They make the clay go round and round. This clump of clay started shouting, "I'm getting dizzy, stop!" But the potter still continued, doing whatever it wanted to do. It finally stopped and he took the lump of clay and put it on the shelf. The clay thought, "Finally, this potter has left me alone. I don't know what got into him." But a little while later, the potter picked up this lump of clay and put it straight into the oven, a really hot kiln of an oven. And this lump of clay starts shouting, "It's really hot in here. It's like a sauna. Take me out." But the potter didn't listen. He left him in there for quite a long time. A little while later, the potter took this lump of clay out of the oven and started painting it with all these different colors. And there were so many fumes and so many toxins coming out of these paints that the lump of clay started shouting, "These toxins and smells are making me sick. Please leave me alone." But the potter still continued. Finally, the potter took this lump of clay and kept it on the windowsill to dry. A little while later, so many people started walking past the window of this shop. And they started looking at this lump of clay, and they all started admiring it. The lump of clay was a bit confused. Why is everyone looking at me? Why is everyone stopping just to see me? I'm a lump of clay. So he shouts out and calls the potter, "Can you come here? Can you tell me why is everyone looking at me? Why are they all stopping by the window to look at me?" The potter says, "1 minute." And he brings a mirror. And he puts a mirror in front of this lump of clay. And do you know what the lump of clay had become? It had turned into a beautiful teacup with so many different colors and all painted in gold on the side. It looked beautiful. The lump of clay was confused. How did I turn into this beautiful teacup? How did that happen? The potter smiled and said, "Let me tell you. You were a lump of clay sitting in your comfort zone on that shelf. But I knew what your full potential was. I knew what you could become. But for me to allow you to become your full potential, to become this beautiful teacup, I had to take you through so many stages that I know you didn't like. I had to beat you, put you in the cold, put you in the hot. I had to spin you. I had to color you in toxins. I had to do all of these things. but I had to allow you to reach your full potential, and this was the only way to do it. You just had to trust the process to become the best version of yourself. Now, let's put this story into our life. Me and you are that lump of clay, and the potter is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He knows what our full potential is. He knows what beautiful teacup we can become. But sometimes He needs to take us through so many processes that might be a little bit difficult to understand. But it's okay if we don't understand them, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is our creator. He knows best, and He knows what our full potential is. And what do we need to do? We need to sit back, trust our creator, and trust the process. He knows what the best version of ourselves is. And sometimes we may need to be beaten into shape and put into shape and have things happen to us outside our comfort zone. But we need to know that Allah knows what He's doing, and He's doing it to get the best out of us. So how do I put the name Al-Hakim into my life? Well, first of all, I need to learn to trust the process. I need to be able to submit to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's will, and to know that whatever He does for me is because that is the best for me, even though I may not understand it for a while. And secondly, the name Al-Hakim is the one who is wise, the one who has wisdom. So we need to continuously try and seek knowledge, always try and apply it into our life, and understand how we can put the knowledge that we have got to become wise individuals in this world. I hope you enjoyed the story today. I did, and every time you look at a beautiful teacup, I want you to remember this story of how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is just trying to get the best out of us. Join me again tomorrow for a new name, same place, same time. Assalamu alaikum.
It's now time to greet our favorite treetop friend, the wise owl. He's ready to impart some of his wisdom upon us. I wonder what other friends he's made in the jungle today.
Assalamu alaikum, girls and boys. I hope you're all doing great and everything is working absolutely perfect on your side. On my side, I'm enjoying this beautiful, sunny and amazing weather. It's very important that you all remember Allah is watching over you, so you do what actions you're taking. Today, I want to talk about the subject of mothers. Mothers are very important people in our lives. And so today we are going to talk about mothers and why they are so important to us. I want to know the reason every single of you love their mothers. Why do you love your mother?
When I was a baby, she would sleep as I slept and she would eat after I ate.
Because she looks after me. I love my mom because she makes my food.
She's always patient and loves me even when I haven't been good.
I can clearly see that everyone loves their mothers very dearly. In the Holy Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says to treat our parents with respect. So we need to treat our mothers very nicely and do not shout or to be mean to them. If you make your mother sad or angry, Allah will also be very sad and angry with you. Making your mother happy and always listening to her is exactly what makes Allah very happy, and you will definitely gonna get a reward for that in the hereafter. Our mothers love us so much and they do many things and many sacrifices for us. Here are some of the examples that I want to point out for you guys.
When I'm ill, she looks after me. She buys me everything that I want. She gives me all her time. Because she looked after me when I was a baby.
There are much more things that our mothers do for us, and we don't even know. So you should always treat your mother kindly and never say mean things to them. So say thank you to your mothers and do not raise your voice over them. And try to always be next to them and help them with the houseworks. Here are some of the ways you can help your mother. You can help her with the cleaning. You can help your mothers when she is tired of cleaning the house every day. So you can help it with the dishes or with cleaning the house and doing laundry or different things that makes your mother happy. Now let's see what other people think about their mothers.
Mums are like buttons because they hold everything together. I owe my mum my life. Always love your mother, as you'll never get another. Thank you, Mum, for all your love and everything.
Oh, that is great! You can also help her by being kind to your siblings and do not fight with them. Your mother does not like to see you fighting with your siblings. It will make her very sad. So always try to be very nice with your siblings, at least because of your mothers. Now that we all know much more about our mothers, let's look at a moral story over here.
Once there was a man who went to the flower shop to send his mother some flowers who lived 200 miles away. Then the man saw a little girl sobbing inside the shop. Then the man said, "What's wrong?" The little girl said, "I want to get a red rose for my mother, but I only have 75p and it costs £2. Then the man was like, "Don't worry, I'll buy a red rose for your mother." Then, as they were leaving, the man offered the girl a ride home. The girl said, "Yes, please take me to my mother." And she directed him to the cemetery where she put the red rose on a freshly dug grave. After seeing this, the man went back to the flower shop, cancelled his order, and drove 200 miles to see his mum.
That was a beautiful story. I hope you all learned a lot of things about your mothers and how much she sacrifices for us. So in the future, try to do your best with helping your mother and making her happy. And remember that she loves you so much. So show her that you love her too. Thank you very much, guys, for listening to today's topic as well and being our friend during all these sessions. I hope to see you guys next lesson as well. Goodbye.
It's time for today's edition of A Better Understanding for us to learn another lesson from Islam from the start. And I'm sure there's something interesting in store for us.
This is a simple moon viewer craft. It's not scientifically accurate, but it does help little ones to visualize and understand what we mean when we talk about the moon phases. So here goes. It's the night before Ramadan begins, and everyone's out looking at the sky, looking with their binoculars and their telescopes. Can they find the Ramadan moon? There it is, a small white line in the sky. It's the new moon of Ramadan. As the month goes on, it seems the moon is getting larger, from a crescent to a half moon. And as we get to the middle of the month, the nights of the 13th, the 14th and the 15th, the moon is shining bright. It's a full moon. As the days continue, it now seems that the moon is getting smaller. After about 29 days, the moon looks like it's almost disappeared. Ramadan must have come to an end. Everyone's out looking for the new moon. There it is! It's the night of Eid and the beginning of a new month, the 1st of Shawwal. Eid Mubarak.
رمضان يا رمضان رمضان يا رمضان رمضان يا رمضان رمضان يا رمضان.
Sadly, today's show has come to an end, but we have learned so much together, and I hope I'll see you next time to learn even more together. Before you go, if you have any suggestions, please email us at cabtv@ahlulbayt.tv. For now though, it's time to say goodbye. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
أنا أحبك يا شهر الخير لأنك أحلى أيامي أحب أزور أحبابي وأخوالي وعمامي أنا أحبك يا شهر الخير لأنك أحلى أيامي أنا أحبك يا شهر الخير